Hi everyone. Here I am sitting down to do yet another first listen to yet another group that I have never heard before. Now, this is one of those big names that has showed up in the comments on my channel for months, over and over again. So many of you have said, Electric Light Orchestra, this song or that song, but Electric Light Orchestra, it's a must. You have to hear it. And so many of you think that I will enjoy it, that it will be interesting to me. Well, here I am, ready to try it out. And the song that I'm going to listen to is called Livin. Now, as I said, so many different ones have been suggested to me in the comments. I understand this is a pretty big name group, so I expect I will be coming back around to it more times than once, and I'll be able to give attention to more of those suggestions in future listens. But this is going to be my first exposure to the band. Is it a band? It says Electric Light Orchestra. Should I call it band or orchestra? I don't know yet. This time, I am going to be listening to a live performance, of course, recorded live. And I am told that this live performance is so good that it gives a really great representation of what a rock concert is like. And the sound quality is good, all of that. And since I'm listening to a live performance, we decided to have me watch the video of the live performance as well. So, having said that, I'm ready to give it a try. That's an interesting opening. It has a lot of flair. It reminds me of, with the violin in there, it reminds me of, well, of course, you might say Paganini, but I'm going to say something like Orff or Kodai, because those composers were 20th century classical composers, and they used a lot of percussive elements in their compositions. It's interesting. And of course, me thinking of orchestra, I wasn't sure if this would have lyrics sung along with it, but obviously it seems that's what's coming in. So I'm curious to see how that goes as well. It's like magic. Rolling and riding and slipping and sliding. It's magic. And you and your sweet desire, you took me higher and higher, baby. It's a living thing. It's a terrible thing to lose. It's a given thing. What a terrible thing to lose. Take it now. This is what you can see from your worst day. I'm taking a dive.
terrible thing to lose. It's a given thing. What a terrible thing to lose. I'm taking a dive on the slide. Taking a dive, guess you can't help the slide floating down the stream. I'm taking a dive. Oh, let me go, don't start spoiling the show. It's a bad dream. I'm taking, and into the street decide to me. Oh, higher and higher, baby.
This is such an interesting mix of things. Sounds, musical ideas. I realize I'm just sitting here going from the score to the live recording, to the video, to the score. I guess I'll listen to this a couple times through today because I feel like there's a lot to process all at once. So I'm just going to keep going, and I don't know. I guess I'm getting close to the end, and then I'll go back and listen, maybe even without the music, just to watch the performance. Then maybe I'll go back to the music. Let's see how this develops today, because this is very different from the stuff that I've listened to so far, and I'd like to spend some time with it.
It's a living thing. It's a terrible thing to lose. It's a given thing. What a terrible thing to lose. It's a living thing. It's a terrible thing to lose. It's a given thing. What a terrible thing to lose. Thank you so much. Fantastic, you lot.
I feel like I want to watch this again. So I'm going to watch just the video, and I'm setting the score aside this time because I just want to have my attention on what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing. So here we go again from the start. You know, that opening, I'm still thinking about what it reminds me of. And it reminds me a bit of a violin concerto. But with a violin concerto, usually the introduction, the first portion of the music, isn't the solo violin diving straight in. This is the solo violin diving straight in, and then we go to something else for most of the song. So it's like somebody took a little snapshot of a violin concerto and used it as an introduction to a song. It's nice. It's a very flamboyant opening.
Sailing away on the crest of a wave, it's like magic. Oh, rolling and riding and slipping and sliding, it's magic. And you and your street
I'm going to say something here which I hope you don't take as insulting. But because I don't mean it that way at all. It's just what I've heard, been exposed to in the past, and my experience as a musician, as a performer. And it's bringing little sound clips of things that I've heard. It's funny because I said this once with another review, and I didn't enjoy that particular song so much. This one's more interesting to me. But I still have to say the same thing. It's obviously a very contemporary, modern vocal style. Not just the solo, but the chorus behind it, the backing voices. And as a harpist, as a performing harpist, well, this isn't particularly my style of music. But the place where I've heard the closest thing is sometimes if I am hired to play in a contemporary modern church, and it's the type of church where they have, a group of lead singers up on the platform. And this is the type of music, the type of chorus that it's the sound world, the stylistic elements that they use in the church program. And it's so funny to me to see it happening here in a very secular setting. But even this chorus, this set of words, higher and higher, I'm thinking they could totally have pulled that out and used it in a church setting. Again, I'm not saying that to denigrate what I'm hearing here right now. It's just funny seeing the connections and hearing where these different ideas have been drawn from, because obviously church music isn't necessarily the originator, the origin of certain styles. In classical music, of course, the origins of classical music are very much stemming from sacred music in the Middle Ages and through as it developed into more instrumental stuff. But it's a two-way street. And especially now, as the world is much more secular than it used to be way back when, you see these influences both directions. And it's just kind of entertaining to me to see, okay, that's where these modern churches have drawn their inspiration from to make this sort of contemporary sound in the church music that they sing. So, having said that, I'm going to continue.
It's a living thing. It's a terrible thing to lose. It's a given thing. What a terrible thing to lose. I'm taking it now. What you can see from your worst day. I'm taking a dive. Moving around and you look back in time to the first day. I'm taking and too sweet.
Also, I'm hearing some sound effects, which I wonder if they're live or if they're pre-recorded and being used as part of the live performance. There are background sounds, kind of spacey sounds and chorus, which is not really a live chorus sound. I don't know if it's being synthesized on this keyboard in the moment, or perhaps they're using a backing track as part of their live performance. And also I noticed the echo of the singer's voice in a couple places where I don't know if that was something that the sound team did in that moment, or is that a little recorded portion that I'm just noticing all these little details along the way. This is quite a complex production here, and it's interesting.
It's a living thing. It's a terrible thing to lose. It's a given thing. What a terrible thing to lose. I'm taking a dive.
There's that echo.
On the slide.
I think I heard some trumpet there.
Taking a dive, cause you can't help the slide floating down the stream. I'm taking a dive. Oh, let it go, don't start spoiling the show. It's a bad dream. I'm taking and ooh, into the street to slide. With me. Oh, higher and higher, baby. It's a living thing. It's a terrible thing to lose. It's a given thing. What a terrible thing to lose. It's a living thing. It's a terrible thing to lose. It's a given thing. What a terrible thing to lose.
I'm trying to figure out if that trumpet is actually a live trumpet. I am looking at this orchestra, and I guess I can't see enough of the orchestra. I see a lot of strings. I haven't really seen a brass player, but there may be one in here somewhere. I'm not convinced that that little trumpet insertion is a synthesized sound. I think that it is coming from this live mix, but I can't spot the trumpeter. These are all strings here. And I see the drummer.
Thank you so much. Fantastic, you lot.
Very interesting. There are a lot of layers of sound. Acoustic sounds. Obviously an orchestral mix. This voice is interesting the way it blends with the orchestra, with the overall sound of the group. If I think of it more as yet another instrument blending with the mix, it's not particularly meant to stand out or have a strong personality of its own. It's just another instrument in the overall blend. I guess the most outstanding instrument here is the solo violin. And she doesn't have a big solo role to play. This is more about an orchestra making music together. and the different roles of the different instruments and musicians are very evenly distributed. So even though this solo violinist has the most outstanding sound and character, yet she is primarily playing introduction, interlude, and little interjections, kind of like a conversation. The violin sets the stage for something, prepares the table with a lot of flair and colorful, dynamic sound quality. And then the other instruments all gather around that table and have a conversation. The voice, the strings, the piano. You could even say that the piano and the rhythm section are the table itself in a way, most of the time. Every once in a while, one of them speaks a bit more assertively. And then, of course, every once in a while, you hear that little tiny trumpet interjecting with their own commentary. It's a very conversational, musical setup. And it's fun to see how it all balances. Nobody is dominating the conversation too strongly. And it creates this nice flow and an atmosphere. I would call this atmosphere music, atmospheric sound world creation. It's not like it's trying to say some profound message that we need to remember and take to heart. I'll look at the lyrics a bit, but it's more about enjoying something together, sharing something together, experiencing something together. And in this case, it's a musical experience, not only for the performers, not only the music itself, but also the audience. And of course, I can see that this audience is very much enjoying the experience, and they're getting into it, they're swaying with it, they're moving with it. It's a nice, warm, relaxed, and at the same time, positive dynamic that's being created here. So, that is my first experience with Electric Light Orchestra. I do have to say you all are right that it's very easy for me to relate to and process these kinds of sounds because strings, piano, trumpet, these are sounds from my home turf, we could say. At the same time, they're applied in a different style of music, and it's interesting to see how they're working out. And I'm going to spend a bit of time with the score, listening to this some more. I'm going to read about the band. I'm going to look up the lyrics because I haven't done that yet. And I am going to come back with a second video and tell you more about my experience becoming familiar with them. And you'll see that link right here. I'll see you soon.